Oh, let's see. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. Bro, what's up, buddy? How are you, bub? Hey, Ashley, how are you? Let's see, get the live shirt out. Alright, can I not share the live? What? Oh, there we go. There we go. We're doing okay. I'm a little sleepy, but other than that, we're good. You're stressed out about the move? Oh, yeah, moving is always stressful. I've had to move multiple times throughout my life, and it's never been a fun experience. But I hope you find time to relax, and when the move happens, it goes well. Hey, Barbara, how are you? And every time I move, I feel like I lose shit. But I'm also bad at packing. There are people who pack when they move, and they're all organized. Like, oh, this is like the kitchen box, and this is like the. I'm like, here's 10 boxes. Just grab and throw everything in there and call it good. Like when I moved out of college to move in with Lacey and her family, the college called me like a week later, like, "Hey, we found a bunch of important documents, and we think you should probably have them." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what were they?" And they're like, "Well, one of them is your cannabis green card, which you're not supposed to have on campus." I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, you know." And then there's like a couple other things. I'm like, "Oh, I can just trash them. I don't need them." I'm thinking about a prank I pulled, if you want to call it a prank. I was moving out of one apartment moving out of one apartment on campus to another apartment, and I had a bunch of unused protection, and I just left them scattered all around the apartment and like hid them in secret spots. Well, we're doing good, Barbara. Thank you. Do I live in America? Yes. I live in Washington State, which is in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. To all of you saying hi in the chat, hello, hello. Hey, Ryomi, how are you? I see my mods are hard at work. Thank you, guys. Hello, hello. How's it going, Turtle? My fan is so loud. You can't have coffee, bub. No, you can't have coffee. I'm sorry. I can give you water, though. Do you want some water? And as always, thank you to the mods for helping out. You guys are on top of it. I haven't seen those messages that you guys deleted. But I also have chat filtered so that I only see, like, non-spammy messages. I apparently bit my tongue in my sleep. I've been noticing that here lately. Like, I wake up and my tongue is, like, between my teeth. Because when my mouth is fully closed, my back right molars don't meet. There's, like, a decent gap. And, like, my tongue automatically just, like, goes to those spots for some reason. Well, Bubba. I'm not sure if it's bad dental work or over the years my jaws have shifted. I'm not sure, but it doesn't bother me enough to try to go get it fixed. Your sleep's your blah blah blah. Your sleep has been messed up lately. Yeah, same. Mouth guard when I sleep. Yeah, I could definitely try that. I need to go back to the dentist and have them fix one of my fillings cracked apparently. What's up, bud? Do you want some water? You want some water? You're not getting coffee, bud. You're getting water. I'm sorry, you can't have coffee. Drink it. Drink it. Chug, chug, chug. No water for you then. No, you didn't want it. We'll try again later. Oh, how was y'all's weekend? Sorry we weren't live Saturday. Between insomnia and the new meds, my sleep schedules have been chaos. And when I woke up on Saturday, it was already like 8 p.m.
Burger stuff?
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
I can wait.
No, that's fine.
You still have an Andes mint right there. One of the cherry ones?
Mm-hmm.
And you still have the cherry vanilla Pepsi over there.
Uh-huh.
And you still have...
It's called controlling my addiction.
Did you eat? Did you? No, you didn't. God, I hang out with kids too goddamn often. Did you? You didn't eat it. The Oreo.
No, I still have that one.
Jeez. Oh, I was supposed to bring you down a cupcake.
It's fine.
Did you have one yet today?
No.
Maybe we'll eat one. I still haven't had one yet. Maybe we'll eat one together. We can share it.
I'm not sharing a cupcake with you. I'm not 5.
Okay. Hi.
Thank you, bro.
Bye.
I'm an adult. I deserve an adult-sized portion of a cupcake.
Can I pet you?
No.
Can I please? Oh, my dinner was really yummy.
Did you put hot sauce on it?
Yeah, of course I did. That's what makes it extra yummy.
So you had mac and cheese?
Yeah.
With hot sauce?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Nothing. Just making sure that's what you had.
Grandma had mac and cheese with hot dogs, but like sausages, not exactly hot dogs, like brats or something.
Yeah.
Ugh. I thought mine was way better.
Yeah, of course you did. You prepared it how you liked it, and she prepared it how she liked it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why people like sausages so much.
I like chicken sausage.
Yeah. I give you little pet just right here. Just...
Dude, remind me to tell you something about Joe Exotic later.
Okay.
I want to tell you now, but I don't know if YouTube will. His husband got deported to Mexico and left him a special gift. And now keep in mind, they're both in prison at the same time. So it's handmade art.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Can I just look it up?
You can, yeah, I wouldn't.
No?
I mean, look it up, but...
Just like what... Because how did you find out about it?
Podcast.
Well, then there you go. I guess that's different than how I would find out about it then. Okay, I'll just wait till you can explain it.
I mean, look it up. Go for it. Do it right now. Let's see your reaction.
Is it going to show me the picture?
Yeah, if you go to his Instagram.
Oh, he has an Instagram?
He does. Joe_exotic.
How do you get an Instagram when you're in prison?
I mean, they have computers and tablets and stuff.
That's strange.
I think, like... I know they have iPod type things, and... They have access to... like, e-readers.
Joe_exotic.
Uh-huh.
Husband deported to Mexico after prison release. I'm not seeing any pictures. I just see that he was real Donald Trump POTUS. It's really last time to have one people watch tired from season 2. So they all I know you're not following my lifestyle, but I supported you. Just allow me to go to Mexico with my husband.
I think a newspaper has it posted in there online. I just don't remember which one.
8 years for nothing is long enough. You can tell he wrote this himself.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was on his Instagram. I thought he uploaded a photo of it.
I mean, there's a mushroom spores.
That is not what that is.
It looks just like mushroom spores.
It is not what it is.
It's prints of his bits.
His back bits.
His back bits?
Of his featuring, yeah.
How do you do that?
Ink?
Yeah, but how do you spread the cheeks enough?
I don't know. Talent?
This looks just like mushroom spores. You're telling me mushroom spores look exactly like bees?
All the stories that I looked up about this all say the same thing.
He got 2 of them so close to each other. How is that possible?
Because you stand up, you sit back down right next to it.
How do you spread them far enough to get it flat to be able to sit, to be able to see the
I don't know. I didn't do the artwork. I'm just telling you what was reported. I've never done prints of my balloon knot, bro.
So the first comment is, bruh, it's 7 a.m. This is the first thing I read.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to do is look at the comments. I haven't done that yet.
P.S. How spread out were the biscuits for this? That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Brock. Ashley says, I can't unsee what I just saw.
I love that the nature girl in me was just like, oh, those are mushroom spores. I've made those before.
Ashley agrees with you. I'm not sure on which point, but she agrees. She said right.
Oh, I'm not the only one who thought they were spore prints. There's more comments about it.
Good night, Barbara. Sleep tight. Thanks for moderating.
Even someone says those are mushroom prints, but nice try. I want to figure out how you... Okay. I don't even understand.
Oh, good night, Turtle. Sleep tight.
Science experiment about to happen. No, I'm joking.
Use safe ink.
Crayola would be fine.
Huh?
Crayola marker would be fine.
Okay.
Hey, it's non-toxic.
Yeah, but...
Why just never use that marker again? For science.
For science.
Do it for the vine.
For what?
Do it for the vine.
The old social media platform?
Yeah, that's what people used to say. Do it for the vine.
I don't know. I wasn't around for that one.
Oh. I was in middle school and high school. And you would say, do it for the vine when you wanted to do something cool but kind of dangerous or something like jumping into a lake with all your clothes on and something else or something. You'd say, do it for the vine.
Yeah. Weren't those like 6 seconds?
Yeah.
People would do like whole little montages.
Well, they might have been a little longer eventually.
Your drink will always be more interesting than his. That is true.
Upstairs.
Bye. Yeah, whatever I drink or eat and Oreo doesn't get, he will always beg for. I kind of want to grab that image off of Instagram, the Joe Exotic image, and run it through AI and see how AI describes it. Dude, no screaming into the microphone, bud. Between you and me, we clip this microphone at least like 6 times live.
I'm gonna go show my parents that and ask them what they think it is.
Okay. Why torture them?
But yeah, vines were 6 seconds long and looped continuously.
Kind of like that one thing. Boomerang or whatever.
Yeah. Except they had sound.
Boomerang did? Or
No,
Vine?
Vine did.
Yeah.
No, I made a Vine with my friends where it was expectation versus reality with Heelys. And I was the reality, and my friend who's really good at doing Heelys was the expectation. And then we did another one of, not my Joey, but my friend's Joey, smashing it.
Ew. The one I know?
Yeah.
Ew.
Smashing a guitar. We did a lot of Vines. Vines were like super in when I was in middle school and high school.
Why would you smash a perfectly good guitar?
I think they started going less in when I got to like high school. Or maybe this might... Hold on, let's see. So it shut down on January 17th, 2017. I stopped using Vine before that, I think. Like, I was into Vine during like 2012.
I'd heard of it. I'd never experienced it.
Oh wait, when did Vine come out?
Because like the only social media I was using back then was
2013.
Twitter
Okay, so
and Facebook.
I was really into Vine from 2013 to probably 2015, or like 2014, and then we kind of stopped using it.
I know people got rich off of it.
Yeah.
I know there's definitely some Vine creators who became millionaires.
Like I would scroll Vine sometimes, like I used to do with TikTok.
Vine walked so
there
TikTok
were
could run.
Epic Vines. I think Alex Birch or something, or I don't know. There was this guy I really liked on there. He was so funny. Yeah, but yeah, thinking about it, the videos were so short, but they were so entertaining. Like look at all these chickens. And
You know who?
Watermelon inside watermelon. It's the most beautiful thing I ever seen in my life.
Vine was created for people with ADHD for sure.
Yeah. The watermelon inside watermelon is probably one of my favorite videos in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I quote that anytime I see watermelon.
Ooh, it's summer. Watermelons gonna start coming out.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Or it's watermelon inside watermelon. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Or he says, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It's watermelon inside watermelon. It might be that way.
I love that the chat is still trying to figure out how you get the cheeks that far apart.
Dude, literally, I don't think it is. I don't think it is what he says it is.
It might not be, but even articles are reporting that's what it is. I want to say like the New York Post posted it, maybe, or one of those East Coast papers.
It appears you're asking about the authenticity of a...
But how do you get mushroom spore prints in prison?
Yeah, that's true. But it was after wasn't it after he was out of prison?
No, he was in ICE detention.
Oh.
From what I know. Because he went from federal prison to ICE detention.
He got deported.
Yeah.
Recent social media posts allegedly from Joe Exotic have featured artwork that some observers suggest includes imprints of his. The implication is that he created these imprints.
Read louder.
By what?
If you're gonna read louder.
The implication of the implication is that he created these imprints by applying paint to his, and then transferring the image onto paper. The evidence, social media posts, the primary evidence. It's not saying. There's speculation that it might not be.
You're on Snopes?
No, this is just AI talking about.
Oh.
The process of creating such prints is relatively straightforward.
Gemini's telling you how to do it?
It says involving paint, a surface to transfer the image, and the subject himself.
Ink.
There's no official confirmation from Joe Exotic or other reliable sources that these prints are genuine. Likely a stunt. Given Joe Exotic's history of attention-grabbing antics, it's plausible that he allegedly...
Yeah, or you're laughing is hilarious.
...is a stunt intended to generate controversy. I just want to know if it's possible to spread the cheeks that far.
Go to the bathroom and try out some experiments. Let us know your results.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the human body. It's all I'm saying. Ladies push out giant babies all the time. Never underestimate the human ability to do weird, fun, cool stuff. That's all I'm saying.
I just don't think it's possible. Because you have... The paper that it's on is a sketchbook pad. So it's not ripped out of the sketchbook pad. So it stayed flat. It has no indentations that it was like bent or pushed up or anything. It's all flat. And in order to be able to do that,
What if you did it on a mattress?
no, that's fine. Like, I'm not talking even about the squatting. I'm talking about the surface area being like the hole is perfect. Like, you can see where the hole print would be, and then the outer parts, it's all very straight lines that come out of the hole area. And so if you were to, you couldn't get your hole on a piece of paper that flat. There would be.
Well, this live stream is getting demonetized.
I'm not saying any bad words.
It's okay, I'm not monetized anyway.
I just don't think it's possible.
Maybe he worked for circus, whatever that place is called.
No, but it's not even about that. It's just the ability. Because
look up go see if there's been anyone else who's ever done it and see. I know, Bubba, we're spending way too much time on this. Ow, motherfucker. Aha. Now I could get that gauge in there. Whoa, bub. Trying to put double flare saddle gauges in. Pain in the ass. Because one of my ears is stretched enough for size 8. They're technically supposed to be. They're both stretched to size 8. But when you use double flare, for those of you that don't know gauges and stuff, when you use double flare, the flare is bigger than size 8. It's usually like a size 6 or a size 4, and then it narrows down in the middle to the size 8. And so you have to like, your ear might be stretched out to a size 8.
I'm not finding any.
You're not looking on the right side, so I would guess.
I looked on Reddit. I looked on Etsy.
Why would you look on Etsy?
Because Etsy gave a link to beehole stamps. But they're not, they're like fake. They're like stamps that look like little butts. I don't think it's real. I think it's mushroom spores. Okay,
but how and where?
I don't know, but it looks exactly like mushroom spores. Also, the outer rings of your hole they're not straight. They're not lines. That's not a thing. They would be squiggly, not straight lines. And I feel like it'd be circular. I don't think it is. I think it's false.
I'm not doubting you.
I'm 99% sure that is not.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
That is not whole stamps. And if they have outside time, and if there's any wet.
Oh, you know why he's throwing a fit?
He didn't get a treat after I gave him medicine.
Because we got distracted.
About stamps. About special types of stamps that lovers send to each other. Okay, I'm gonna not talk about this anymore, and I'm gonna go read instead.
You're gonna go do more research.
No, I'm not.
Are you gonna show your parents?
Yeah.
Come here, Bobo. There you go, buddy. There's some water for you. We'll get you a Nutriberry because today's Monday. Oh, that bag is gonna rip. The Ziploc bags, or the resealable bags they do for the Nutriberries, they always the resealable part always rips away from the edge of the bag. Okay, here you go, buddy. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna go do something. I'll be right back. Eat your treat. Okay, so Ryomi Joe Exotic is the Tiger King. There was a big documentary made about him in 2020, the pandemic. During the pandemic, I should say. And he's a country hick who's a gay cowboy. His words, not mine. And he attracted a lot of young youth to his tiger sanctuary, tiger lion sanctuary. And there was evidence of schmeth use and tigers and lions and animal stuff. What's the word I can use on TikTok or YouTube for this? Violence towards animals, I should say. So he got put in prison for 21 years because he tried to hire an unaliver to take out his rival named Carol Baskins, who was a cat sanctuary lady who thought what Joe was doing was insane, even though she did the same thing. Like, she had a big cat sanctuary, and he hired a dude for 10 grand to go take out this lady. But that dude narked on him. Snitches get stitches.
Okay, they both think that I'm right.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know. I'm just telling you what was reported in the story.
Because they also think that it would be that one. There'd have to be folds in the paper. That they probably wouldn't be perfectly straight lines. Anyways.
I'm just giving you the facts that I got.
I know.
Or the, not facts, but the...
I think Joe Exotic just likes attention.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he just wants some notice.
He wants out of prison.
Yeah, he just wants some...
That's why he added the president.
Yeah.
And he ran for president. Or governor. Wait, president.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. What do you think, Berber? What do you think? I bet you, if I keep this conversation up long enough, I can get her to try it. But yeah, so he hired someone to take out Carol Baskins, and then he got put in prison, and they also tacked on charges for cruelty to big cats, and he is a right-wing hardcore Republican, and he's been trying to get Trump to pardon him since Trump went for his first run in office and his second run in office. So that's who Joe Exotic is. And there's a big documentary series on him. Watch season 1, don't watch season 2. Season 2 sucked. But the people who made Tiger King also made a documentary called Chimp Crazy on HBO. And that is a pretty fascinating documentary as well about people who own chimps and like the history of chimps and in showbiz, and the PETA went after this one lady in Missouri for her sanctuary, and the courts got drug into it. And this other lady who worked for the main lady, I don't know her name, sorry, but she might have stolen a chimp when the who regulates big game animals? Not DEA.
Wildlife, federal wildlife.
Yeah, but when they did the raid on the chimp compound in Missouri, who was that? Do you remember?
Ooh, no. But it's probably the wildlife feds. Game and sports and stuff.
I just remember what they're called. Anyway, so a chimp goes missing when they do a raid on the compound and take out all the other chimps. I mean, like, they don't take them out.
You're talking about the...
Chimp Crazy.
Yeah, that's a decent show. I just hatched an egg.
Nice. What'd you get?
Flash the Super Froggo.
Cool.
This is his noise.
I love that they just had a human sit in a sound booth and record different noises. That's actually one of the better ones.
It's a good one.
I like that one and the hamster.
Flash is always ready to save the day. Call on him when you're in need. He is only a leap and a bound away.
He should make adventures faster.
Right? I'm almost done exploring the desert.
Nice.
I'm 96% done.
I'm 20% through exploring the Amazon.
Nice.
I finished Australia.
I still have not finished. This is the only place I've been so far besides Finchy Forest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's taken me a while.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to catch up with all y'all's comments. You get two people with ADHD together and things get convoluted real quick. Hey, Potato, we're doing well. How are you? Game Wardens. Yeah, but I feel like there was a agency involved on a federal level for the chimp raid. I just can't remember what's the letters for that? Because they were also on the Joe Exotic raid too. Barbara, the Joe Exotic story that we were talking about. He uploaded a photo. He uploaded a photo from his husband in prison who got deported, and he made it seem like the husband left him a gift, and what he presents it as is, I have to be careful how I say this, but his husband took ink and left imprints of his peach ring on a piece of paper. That's the story. And if you go to Joe Exotic's Instagram, you can see an image of it. And Lacey and other people think that it's mushroom spore print, which I'm not saying it's not. I don't know. I can't see it. I haven't looked that much into it. I just saw the story briefly before I started the live. But if you want to check it out, it's at Joe_exotic on Instagram. Man, I don't know what's up with these meds. The lamotrigine was doing it too, and the Keppra, but it's causing my voice to like crack. It was you should not do that. It also might be the time of year too. Allergies or whatever. Are you satisfied, bud? Did you get your Nutriberry? Yeah. Did you get your Nutriberry? Yeah. Can I have some? Can I have a Nutriberry? Those are the good ones. Those have fruit in them. Yeah. Those have like those are the Sunny Orchard fruit Nutri-berries. So they got papaya, mango, pineapple, apricots. I think that's what's in them. Can I have some? Num 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 num. Oh, your foot's still messed up? Damn, that sucks. Well, I wish you a speedy recovery on that. Hey, buddy. Hey, little feeler. Are you chompy chomping? Huh? Are you chompy chomping? Are you watching Wild Earth TV on YouTube? Yeah? Are you watching African safaris on YouTube? Do you get to watch lions in the wild? And elephants? And occasionally they'll find a leopard or a rhino? Sometimes they'll come across a hyena pack, warthogs. How could you be bored senseless when you have the internet? Might I recommend a Kindle Unlimited subscription? I guess if you're not a book nerd like me, that doesn't solve the problem. But I will, if I'm bored, I will read. I wish I was one of those people that could like read nonfiction and enjoy it. If it was like an autobiography of someone I cared about or like something interesting, I could do that. But I know people who are they'll just go read like a history book or they'll go read like a textbook for like math and they actually enjoy that. No, thank you. I need a plot, I need character development. I need cool like MacGuffins to chase, all that fun stuff. Although one teacher when I was in school got me to read this book series called the Sharp series. And it was about a guy in like one of the old wars back in the day. Like in the I want to say East Europe. And it was like a history book, but it was written fictionally. But it like highlighted and demonstrated true events that happened, but it was like a fictional character. And that was okay. I enjoyed that. I don't remember much about it because I was 15, 16 and taking copious amounts of medication. Yeah, bud. Do I have my septum piercing in here? I need a jewelry box. I need a way to organize all my gauges. I also need to buy some new ones at some point. I got a bunch of like mismatched stuff. Character art design classes is nice. You're one of the people that can read history books around me? Nice. I think it's a powerful skill. Like, you definitely learn stuff. I just find them utterly boring. I guess to be fair, I've only read like textbook history stuff. I've not read like what I love watching history stuff on YouTube. Like there's a history professor of medieval studies on YouTube that I watch, and that's fine. I don't get bored with that. Hello. Hi. You want me to pick you up now? Hold on. Here, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Oh, sorry, bud. Hold on. Wait, no. Barber, let go. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. What are you doing? What are you doing, bud? I need to figure out how to put a frequency gate or noise gate on these microphones. If I run it through the mixer, it's fine, but the cables I have from a mixer causes this weird, like, obnoxious clicking, humming noise that I can't stand, so. Hey, buddy. Thank you for flying Hertz Airline. We get you there safely. And you always fly first class on my shoulder. And sometimes snacks are included. Astrophysics. I love physics. I love space. But some of the math involved with that stuff, that's where I get lost. Like I love reading that stuff, but when it comes to like numbers and math, I'm like, that part I just ignore. Good night, potato soup. Well, if I were to read history stuff, I typically trend more towards like. I always enjoy reading or watching something about like armor, weaponry, or uh, like shipping or like trade stuff. Numbers are soothing. I will disagree with you on that point. I can understand how they'd be soothing for some people. They stress me right the hell out. I failed Algebra 1 twice. Or I failed it once, almost failed it again. I passed with a C the second time. And that was only because I bribed my teacher. I said, "Do you really want me back in your class again?" I was at a D and I said, Just bump it up to a C. Make it a passing grade so I don't have to come back to this class. Because you and I both know I'm never going to understand this stuff. And I got my, we don't call them special ed teachers anymore. I don't know what we call them, but I got her to help step in and like negotiate an agreement. And then my school was like, do you want to take calculus? I was like, haha, no. I did the required math classes. I'm not doing anymore. I will take a second elective English class or something. And yet, somehow, I still passed with a 3.7 GPA. Our school had a hardship program. So you could go in and be like, things outside of school are chaos incarnate right now. I would like to graduate early. I have the required credit core classes. Let me leave and graduate. And my school was like, yeah, get out. See ya. Bye. It was primarily used for farm kids who had to stay home and work on the farm, but it worked in my favor. I couldn't go to prom. I couldn't go to sporting games. Like, once they approved it, I couldn't do anything school related. And I was like, fine with me. I don't dance. I don't care about prom. My girlfriend at the time had broken up with me because I was moving to Washington. Well, I think it was more of a mutual breakup. I'm like, why are we going to stay together if you're not going to move to Washington with me? And I'm definitely not staying in here. I'm going back to Washington, so Berber, leave the gauge alone. Stop it. Leave them alone. I know, I put new ones in. I put new gauges in. Stop. Stop. Stop it. Numbers are reliable. That I agree with. I do math for a game I play. Though to be fair, I built an Excel sheet to track stuff with formulas that I put in. I've never been able to do math off the top of my head. And they taught me, I don't know if it was everywhere in the US, but at least in the schools I was in, it was very common to teach blind people how to use abaci. And I kind of wish I kept up that skill, because using an abacus did kind of make math a little easier for me. And then we got talking calculators, so abacuses were kind of out the window at that point. But doing like long division and fractions and stuff on an abacus was a lot easier than trying to do it in my head or do it on a piece of paper. I don't know what, but like in fourth through sixth grade, my visually impaired teacher, whatever you call those people, I don't know, whatever. They're teachers that teach the visually impaired at public schools. They made me learn how to do math in Braille on paper. And it is not easy. It takes, for like one problem, it can take up to 3 sheets of paper. And God forbid you fuck up, because you have to redo it all over again. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Berber, leave the gauges alone. Yes, it's a new gauge. Yes. Not new like brand new, but like, yes, I just put different ones in than you're used to. I know. You can't have this one though. Yeah, these ones are made of stone. I was worried about having the glass ones in with you, and you left them alone. But the stone ones, for some reason, you just want to try to attack. Your curiosity gets you in trouble, Berber. I'm trying to figure out how, like, thinking back about the Braille, doing math in Braille on a Brailler. I don't even think I remember how to do any of it. I think I vaguely remember how to, like, format it, but I know you write the problem like 2 plus 5, and then you put like a line underneath that, and then that separates your answer, and then you do the work below the line. I don't know. I don't remember, but it was a pain in the ass. It would be cool to have a Brailler again, just so I could demonstrate Braillers to people, because it's a pretty nifty little machine. I don't know who created it. I want to say Perkins maybe, but because I know that's a common brand of Brailler, but I don't know if they created the first one. But the machinery that goes into creating a Brailler is pretty intricate. But they're expensive. They're like $900. Even trying to buy a used one, you're gonna pay like $400 or $500. And then if you buy a used one, you're probably gonna have to get it repaired. So then you have to try to find someone who can repair them. There are several people out there who do home repairs. So then you have to send it to them, and then pay them for the repairs and the parts. And I don't know where you find parts for Braillers. I mean, it's all pretty. From what I remember, it's all pretty proprietary parts. I think like some of the springs and the pins and stuff you can buy off the shelf, but so you have to either buy a bunch of old Braillers and take them out for parts. I've definitely taken a couple apart at school to fix them. Some jackass, I won't mention names, got a magnet stuck in the Brailler, because he might have been obsessed with magnets at the time and might still be. Berber, stop. And launched it across the table. It went into the Brailler and fell down into the interior parts of the Brailler, because they're pretty open. If you Google an image of a Brailler, they got some pretty open spaces where you can, like, dust and dirt and debris and stuff can get in there. So I had to take it apart and take the magnet out and oil it up. I already had it apart, so might as well work on it. Yeah, actually, I'm right there with you. Bad at math, good at all other subjects. Even science. I love science. Like, I sucked at chemistry, like balancing out the chains and stuff. But I loved science. You had to have algebra professors so bad they let you take the class at no cost. Damn. I had a computer teacher like that. His answer for any questions we had was just Google it. Thanks. Basically, he was there to supervise us as we taught ourselves. That's how I got my A+ certification. I basically got given the pool of answers to the 750 questions and a book, which was pirated, I'm pretty sure, and taught myself how to do computer repair. and that dude was utterly fucking useless. We all wrote a report, signed it, handed it to the school, and said this is what's going on, and he got fired. And then they were like, well, you got your A plus certifications. Do you want to stick around and try to go for your network admin certificates? I was like, no, fuck you. I'm out. I'll try to. At this point, I'm gonna go to college. Like, this school sucks. Everything about this place is obnoxious. There was a murder across the street. There was drug raids going on all the time. I'm out. See ya. You find Braille interesting? Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating language system. I used to know a lot more about Braille than I do now because I haven't really had a reason to use it. I do have a Braille display, which is nice, so I can read stuff on it. I wish I would have bought a different one, but that's okay. A smaller one would have been a little better for carrying around for my phone and stuff, but I got the note taker version, so I can write on it and stuff. I used to know. So I've talked about this, but there used to be three. Not used to be. There is 3 levels of Braille: grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. Actually, there's more levels than that, but grade 1 is like everything is spelled out, no contractions. Every letter is represented by a letter. There's no shortcuts. Grade 2 is like more advanced. There are contractions, which are like shortcuts. So instead of spelling out the word father, father's represented by 2 cells or 2 letters, if you will. Dot 5 and then the F. So that's father. Lord is dot 5 L. And then there's like shortcuts with different types of combinations of word or letters. So ATION, ISO, SION, all that stuff. There's like shortcuts for that. There, all have their own shortcuts. Not every letter, most letters of the alphabet represent a word. So, B is but, C is can, D is do, E is every, F is from, G is go. Which, okay, as I list these off, they've shortcut words that were already short. I've never understood that. H is have, I is just I, J is just, K is knowledge, L is like, N is not, M is more. I don't think O is anything. I think all the major vowels are just not represented. What was I don't know? P is people, Q is quite, R is rather, S is so, T is that, U is us, V is very, W is will, X is it, Y is you, and Z is as. So almost every letter in the alphabet represents a word. And I might have fucked that up, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Oh yeah, I meant to talk about this comment. After your last stroke, you lost the ability to process strings of numbers. Fuck, I can't process shit at the moment. Anything past 3 digits. That's so fascinating. Like, I find it so fascinating how our bodies respond to like medical conditions and how our brain gets affected. I should have been a neurologist or something because I love studying the human brain. Had a male teacher in school who was being inappropriate. Oh, what a shock. At one of the schools I went to, our health class was taught by our gym teacher and football coach, and it was the most boring class ever. When I went to the Washington School for the Blind for 30 days before I left, I was in health class, who was also taught by our gym teacher, actually, now I think about it, Miss Butcher. Pretty sure that was her name. And I knew more than any other student about sex and sexual anatomy. And people said that was weird. I was like, okay, whatever. You all are in 6th grade. You should know more than nothing. I remember like two students coming up to me like, the fact that you know all this is just creepy. And I was like, no, the fact I know all this is because I learned it a year ago in public school. I always felt like the School for the Blinds were behind academically. Because like when I went to the Missouri School for the Blinds, what I was learning in 7th grade there, I'd already learned in like 5th, 4th grade. Sorry, I went to the School for the Blind, Missouri when I was in 9th grade. So what I was learning in 9th grade at the School for the Blind, I'd already learned in like 6th, 7th grade. And it was really boring, and I got bored real easy, which meant I got in trouble. Like, I remember our science, and this is no offense to the science teacher, she was great. I won't say her name, but she was awesome. But like, literally, our science class was us setting up ramps and measuring how fast it took for a car to get from the top to the bottom and how far it would go off the ramp. And she was trying to demonstrate like mass, gravity, all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, I already learned about all this. Like, what? This is like 3rd grade science. And then we did like a course on electricity, which was actually kind of cool because she had like these I forget what they're called. You can buy them on Amazon, but they're like little boards with like metal springs, and you can connect different electrical components to it with like alligator clips, and then you can connect a 12-volt battery to it, so you can like run a motor, make a bell ring, stuff like that. Pretty cool. I actually enjoyed that a lot. Although I almost blew a battery up because I tried to daisy chain a couple batteries together, and that didn't go well. Berber, leave the gauge alone. Don't growl at me. I'll growl at you. How about that? See, I think Brock, I would probably be the same way. Like if I was doing like hands-on chemistry, I'd be fine at that. Because anything I learn, it has to be examples, like hands-on experience. Like I'm learning that a lot with coding right now because I'm slowly working on learning Python. And like when I sit down and read a book about Python, I like don't absorb it. But when I sit down and look at like samples of code that I can go through and look at, it makes way more sense. But I have a book that's called like Python for Idiots or something like that. Python's for Dummies. And like I'm reading the book and I'm like, I'm not absorbing any of this really. And then I'll go look up like code snippets, or I'll have Gemini create code snippets. And once I know the terminology, like duples and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I get like I understand this more. Yeah, same, Brock. My high school was in the middle of fucking literally the town that the school is in is called Ware, Missouri, and all around that area was like agriculture, farms, meth. Like kids would come to school with guns in their cars because they were gonna go hunting or they just got back from hunting. Like one kid had a deer in his car, which I don't know how that was supposed to work because he had to be in school for the next 8 hours. I don't know why he would just let the deer sit in his car, or a truck or whatever. And I mean, like it was not uncommon for people to have rifles in their vehicles at school. I find Python pretty enjoyable to learn. And it's pretty versatile. Because you can use it to like build apps on phones and stuff. I'm like no coding genius by any means of the imagination, but I wanted something that was easy, that was like more language based. And Python seemed to fit that need or that definition. I also know a little Lua, but that's because I use it to create scripts and automation for a game I play. So I'm slowly converting that over to Python though, so I can understand Python through a game system. Yeah, nobody cared. Yeah, no one cared. No, you could have a gun in your car at school. No one cared. Literally have a knife on your hip, which I always did. No one cared. It was fine. Hell, I used to walk around with handcuffs on my pants, using it as a belt. I did some weird, quirky shit in school. But drugs will do that to you. Blind schools weren't always that way. Yeah, I've heard that. I will tell you that my experiences at the blind schools were horrific. And if I had a child who was blind, I would never send them to a school for the blind. I would keep them in public school like I was, or put them in a private school where they can get the resources that they. I don't think I'd ever send a child to school for the blinds. I felt like I mentioned this on another live recently. I felt a lot like they were just modified daycares or like long-term live-in facilities because parents would drop their kids off on Monday or Sunday, wouldn't see their children until the weekend, and then felt like annoyed that they had to come get their kids on the weekends. So for those of you that don't know, the way the school for the blinds work, at least the two that I've been to, you get shuttled in on Sunday evening. You are there 4.5 days, and then at noon on Friday you get back in the shuttle and you're shuttled back home where your parents pick you up from a local drop-off location. You spend whatever time with your family on the weekends. I never thought it was long enough. And then you get back in the van and go back Sunday. And some of these kids were in the van for like 8 hours at a time, because they would go from St. Louis down to like Kansas City, Cape Girardeau. So those are like 6-8 hours in the van. And then you'd have to do it again on a Friday. So I was fortunate that I was only like an hour and a half away. I could often convince my dad or my grandpa to just drive me up there. Just, hey, drive me up to St. Louis. We'll get lunch or something. I can convince him that. So I was very fortunate. The Washington School for the Blind, we were a little further away. So that was like 2.5 hours, I think, each way. Oh, god damn it. Close out of the chat, Ripper. There we go. But yeah, I'll have to look up the IDEA Act. I'm not familiar with that. And there was a lot of misconduct going on at the Missouri School for the Blind. I don't know so much about the Washington School for the Blind because I wasn't there long enough, and I was like 7th grade, I think. Well, okay, so I did like a 2-week summer program at the School for the Blind in Washington when I was like 9. They had like a youth camp type thing. That was fun. I enjoyed that a lot, actually. But that's my first time being around other blind people, really. I mean, we had a couple at our school, but like, and we were like kind of friends, but like we never really hung out outside of school or whatever. But when I went to the youth program at the School for the Blind, that's when I was like really brought into like being around other blind children. And that was, pardon the pun, but that was eye-opening. And then I was like, yeah, I could go here. Like, I wouldn't mind going here. So in 7th grade, I had talked about it with my dad, and they said I could do a 30-day trial, and my school agreed. So I transferred down to the Washington School for the Blind, which is in Vancouver, Washington. And I went in with all new stuff, like had new clothes, new shoes, all that fun stuff. Like, I don't know. And first week was fine, second week was okay, third week I started getting really pissed off and like annoyed, and I don't do well with rules and other people's authority. And I just felt trapped. I felt it was kind of the first time I was away from my family for a long time, like other than them being in the hospitals. But there's something different about being in a hospital where your family can come and see you and all that stuff. But like being at the school and like going home every weekend and then coming back, like I felt like I was not at home long enough. I felt like there's a lot of stuff going on at home that I was missing, and like I wasn't around my family. So by the third week, I was like crying and hating it, and I didn't even make it the full 30 days. And I missed public school. I honestly missed public school. I missed the friends that I had made. I missed the structure. I missed all that stuff. And honestly, there was a bit of me who was like, I have nothing in common with any of these people. Like, these kids have grown up at the school. These kids have known each other for years. I don't feel like connected to any of these people, really. So I ended up leaving, and then moved to Missouri in 2004 or 2003, whatever. No, 2004, 2005, something like that. And I went to, so down there, the way the school worked was, I was in like this rural one-horse town school called Richwoods, Missouri. And it's fine, I don't have family out there, so I don't care about giving these places away. And that was preschool through 8th grade in one school. And I did 2 months of 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. And then my grandpa had a heart attack up in Washington when he was getting ready to sell the house. So my dad, my grandma, and I got on a plane and went back to Washington. and I was going to be up there for a year. So they enrolled me back into my public school, Camachin Middle School. Stands for rainbow in the local tribe language, apparently. And I went back, loved it, was happy. And then when I moved back to back to Missouri, we moved to a house that my grandpa had bought in this small town, which I won't tell you where because family still lives there. But that school had no idea how to handle someone who was visually impaired. They didn't have the finances to purchase assistive technology. They tried. They bless their hearts, they tried. But it was determined that it would be easier just to ship me off to the School for the Blind in Missouri, in St. Louis. And I agreed after going up there and meeting with all the staff and stuff. And worst decision I made, honestly. Ended up getting expelled 6 months later. And moved back to my grandparents' house, where I went to high school in Ware, Missouri. And that school actually was pretty good. I had a lot of fun at that school. And then the Missouri School for the Blind needed more students because they were losing funding. And they convinced the school I was at to talk me into going back up there. Now, keep in mind, I had been expelled at that point. They didn't want me back. But when they needed more money, they were like, yes, we'll take you back. And the deal was that I would go there and I would get to graduate a year early. Well, they lied. And I realized they lied. And there was a lot of stuff going on that I didn't want to be part of. And I hated it. So I left again. Went back to Grandview, which is the high school that I liked. And finished out my junior year. And then my senior year, I found out about the hardship program, and I applied. And this is when I was going through all the chronic nerve pain and dealing with that, and the trigeminal neuralgia. My dad had a leiomyosarcoma in his stomach, was dealing with all that. So I filed a petition for the hardship program and graduated 6 months early. So that was kind of my school journey. Good night, Barbara. Sleep tight. Thanks for moderating. Hope you have a good night and get some good sleep. How the hell did I open up the emojis? Well, that didn't make it go away. What's up, Bubba? Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock, bud. Yeah, I moved schools quite a bit. I want to say I transferred schools 6 times, 7 times. Hold on, let me do finger math. Went from Horizons to Lakes. That's one. Went from Lakes to the Missouri School for the Blind, or Washington School for the Blind. Went back. Sorry, Horizons to Lakes, Camachin to Washington School for the Blind, School for the Blind back to Camachin, then transferred down to Richwoods, went back from Richwoods back to Camachin, so that's 5, and then went back to Missouri to Grandview, so that's 6. Then went from Grandview to Missouri School for the Blind. No, yeah, no, hold on. Went from. Okay, so 6th time was moving from the town I won't mention to Missouri School for the Blind. Then went from Missouri School for the Blind to Grandview. Grandview back to St. Louis, and then back to Grandview. So if I have that counted correctly, that's 9 times. I've never actually added that up. But there's a lot of especially at the St. Louis School for the Blind, there was a lot of wrongdoing going on. There was a lot of fraud going on. There was a misconduct with students going on. There was misconduct among students going on. Like, there was a student who was doing inappropriate things with other students and was never kicked out, even though the cops had been called on them a couple times. One student kept pulling the fire alarm, which I just thought was hilarious. She would just pull the fire alarm constantly. A student and a teacher ended up together. That student was expelled. The teacher was fired. But then, when they needed more students, that student was allowed to come back. There was other teachers with conduct that I can't exactly prove, but there was gut feelings going on and weird separation going on. Like, students would just be singled out for 20-30 minutes at a time for no reason. The superintendent was always sleeping in his office. One of my things that they did to keep me from getting bored was I would run errands around the school for staff, and I would take stuff up to his office all the time, and he'd be sleeping at his desk. One person was embezzling money. They would hire, so obviously living on campus meant there had to be residential staff, and they would just hire anybody off the street with really no background checks or any type of caregiving experience or dealing with children or children with special needs. So God knows what was going on in the other dorms. Fortunately, all the residential staff I had were pretty okay. Shout out to Miss Robin and Curtis. And Natasha. Is that her name? Natasha? She'd go get me Chinese food. Anyone who gets me food, straight to my heart. Hello. God, I can't remember. Is Natasha? Shauna? Something like that. Sorry. I doubt she sees this, but sorry. There's a lot of, they put all of the high-functioning children in one dorm. And then the rest were separated out into their mentally functioning ability, I guess. I don't know what the correct word for that is. And those kids needed a lot of help, both academically and in day-to-day, taking care of themselves. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was a misconduct going on in those dorms. And in fact, I know I got in trouble when I was there and at the School for the Blind in Missouri. I was in D dorm at the time, and then I got in trouble for some nonsense, I'm sure, something dumb and stupid on my part. And they decided that to punish me, they were going to move me. Oh, a friend and I got in trouble, so they wanted to separate us so that the trouble would stop. And they restricted my hours. Like I couldn't just roam around the school as much as I wanted. They like put me on restrictions. They moved me over to J dorm, which was this dorm with a lot of the kids who needed a lot of help, and um, that actually ended up being fun because they thought I would be under more scrutiny, but I made friends with the dorm staff real quickly and got to do whatever I wanted pretty much. And two of those kids were doing stuff that they shouldn't have been, and the dorm staff didn't know what to do about it. So yeah, it was just really weird experience. Hey Ed, how are you? Oh, you went to the same school district your entire time. Nice. That's gotta be so nice. Especially if you make like a core group of friends that you can stick with the entire academic path. I always, Lacey and I were talking about this earlier. I always made friends with like the outcast people. I never had like a core group of friends. I thought I removed Messenger off my phone. Why am I getting... Oh, no, I installed it. I forgot. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, nothing important. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure nothing... we had some family stuff happen a while back, so making sure that's all good. Okay. I enjoyed being an outcast in school. It was fine. I didn't want to be part of like the popular kids, or I didn't strive for any of that. I didn't see school as like a place to make friends. I saw it as a place to get in, get out, get what I needed done. I mean, of course, I had like girlfriends and stuff like that throughout my high school experience, but I didn't care about like the drama and the ladder climbing of social hangouts and stuff. Plus, I was just doped up to the gills, so I didn't. I'd rather go home and be on my computer or reading or something like that. And I was always known as the blind kid. No one ever really knew my name. I was always referred to as like the blind kid or the guy with the cane. Like only like 2 or 3 people actually knew my name. I remember there was a the lady that I was dating. She told one of her friends about us hooking up, and that got around to people in the school, and they were like very shocked that that a blind person could even do that. And I was like, that got back to me, and I was like, whatever. What, buddy? I know, it's past 9 o'clock. I know. Yeah, it's 21:05. I'm aware. We'll wrap up. We'll wrap up. Alright, y'all. Mr. Burbs is getting fidgety. I gotta go figure out what I'm doing for dinner. Excuse me. I released a video today. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, please. Give it a watch, a like, a comment. It's a pretty short video. I think it's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, something like that. But it's just like a video talking about reflecting on making it to 35 and how fortunate I feel that I'm alive and all the sacrifices that had to be made for me to still be here. But yeah, I uploaded that earlier today, and I probably won't have a video out for Wednesday because I haven't. We went through all the videos I recorded, so I got to sit down and record more. And with how late it's getting, I won't get that done tonight. So maybe tomorrow. But yeah. Huge shout out to the mods, Turtle, Barbara. Thank you all for moderating tonight. I really appreciate it. I know most of you guys are in bed by now, but I always like to show appreciation to my mods. Good night, Ed, Ashley, Ryomi, Brock, Potato, and anyone else I missed, I apologize. I'm just like scanning through comments real quick. Orion, I love you all. Be kind to yourselves and others. Go learn some cool shit. Make the world a better place. Find moments of happiness when and where you can. Laugh at yourselves, but more importantly, laugh at other people. We will see you all on Wednesday. Lacey told me tomorrow is National Streaming Day, whatever the fuck that means. So we might be live. I highly doubt it. So we will catch you guys on Wednesday. ZachHurts.com for all your wonderful Zach and Oreo nonsense. Merch, PayPal, Venmo, Amazon wishlist, Cash App, blog post, origin stories, social media links. Oreo and I have a birthday coming up if you haven't heard yet. We'll be opening gifts on May 24th for our birthday live stream. I'm turning 35. Oreo's turning 22. So if you'd like to send Oreo a gift, go check out our wish list or send a cash birthday gift, whatever. Not required, not mandatory at all. But the option is there. I always feel like a whore saying that shit, but whatever. Good night, Ashley. We love you all. Sleep well. Be kind to yourselves and others. I already said all that. Hold on. Where the hell's the finish button? There it is. Okay. Sleep tight. Sweet dreams. We love you. Take care. Peace out. See ya.